Good morning, people. Good morning. All right, let's get straight into this video. No time to waste. I have work in 2 hours. All right, what is there to talk about today? McGregor's boxing coach, 85 to 90% chance Pacquiao fight happens. I have no interest, like zero. I have zero interest in seeing Manny Pacquiao fight Conor McGregor. Like, none. There's no part of me that's like, oh, nothing. Zero. I hope it's 85 to 90% chance it doesn't happen. That's how much little interest I have in seeing that. I want to see Pac-Man like try and become an all-time top 10, top 5 and fight Errol Spence or Terence Crawford. He has got a belt. I think we forget that. Or even, look, I don't think he necessarily deserves it right now, but even Mikey Garcia. I want to see that fight. Mikey maybe could fight Manny Pacquiao. Let's have that. Like the idea of Pacquiao fighting McGregor. And I get why Pac-Man would want to do it. I get why McGregor would want to do it. I mean, they both make a hell of a lot of money. There's no one in boxing in and around this weight class that Pac-Man can fight where he makes the same money fighting McGregor. There's no one in the UFC McGregor can fight that makes the same money as him fighting Pac-Man. Even Khabib. I know some people might say Khabib or Jorge Masvidal. No. So, yeah, I have little to no interest. Please, we're so close, guys, to 3,000 followers on Instagram. Please. I think we're at like 2.6. So thank you to all the new 400 followers. Can we get 3,000? Please follow me on the Instagram account below. All right, Dillian Whyte, I want to smash Povetkin's face in. He pretends to be nice guy. He will pay. Dillian Whyte is so road. It's scary. Like, he is a road man, isn't he? I mean, what has Povetkin done? What has Povetkin done? Jesus Christ. All right, Matchroom announced their series of fight cards. Let's have a quick look at that fight card, because that is, I think, the only pay-per-view fight card on that Matchroom. I think it was 4 or 5 shows. Let's have a quick look at the Dillian Whyte one, then we can have a look at the others. I just want to see if it's pay-per-view worthy, because that's what we always get to, right? Is it pay-per-view worthy? Let's have a look. Again, they might add some more names to this, but for now, it's obviously Povetkin versus Dillian Whyte. They got Ted Cheeseman versus James Metcalf. That's for British super welterweight strap. Fabio Wardley versus Eric Molina. Where has that come from? How random is that? Eric Molina hasn't fought over here. I'm trying to think the last fight over here. AJ, and then he got banned from fighting over here. He fought Hrgovic in Saudi. He got smashed in a couple of rounds. Looked really good, like, in the lead up to it. I remember seeing him. I interviewed him over there, and I was like, looking good, like, looked in good shape. Just got smashed by Hrgovic, which is no fault. But it's a weird one. That's a step up for Wardley, because Molina can box, right? I mean, Wardley is unbeaten, but when I was talking about Wardley the other day, and I was like, I'll give him 5 bums, really, to fight. I wasn't thinking Eric Molina. We've got Yusuf Kumari, unbeaten 11-0 versus Kane Baker. And then you got Ricky Hatton's son, Campbell Hatton. That right there is not a pay-per-view card right now at all. No way, Jose, is that a pay-per-view card. We'll see what they can add. Again, like, I understand the restrictions, but again, this is a pay-per-view card we're talking about. It needs to be better for me. That there isn't enough. It's not enough so far, but we'll see. Shane McGuigan has done his top 5 lightweights. He ranked them as Teofimo number 1, Loma number 2. That makes sense for me. He's got Javante number 3, I think Ryan number 4, and Devon number 5. I think the reason he had Devon so low is because he said Devon hasn't fought anyone yet. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez's ego has exploded. I'd like to cut him down to size. It's a fight that can happen. Both of them are on Top Rank. It's a fight that can happen. I would right now prefer to, I know it's a unification, undisputed fight, him versus Ramirez, but right now, I wouldn't mind seeing Josh Taylor versus Lopez right now. Like, forget everyone else. Forget Teofimo versus any of the lightweights or even Lomachenko. Forget Ramirez, Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor right now versus Teofimo would be a good fight. I don't know if it's a big money fight for it to happen, but it's a good fight, right? Fury Joshua. Eddie Hearn receiving offers from several countries. Let's stop talking about that for now because I'm bored about it. What we should talk about was Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington, and I touched on this yesterday or the day before when I done a video. Josh Warrington is fighting in this Matchroom kind of fight cards again that have been announced. He's fighting a guy called Mauricio Lara. Now, I know this for a fact. Mauricio Lara wasn't ranked in the definitely not ranked in the IBF top 10. I don't believe he was ranked in the IBF top 15. And that's what he has to be in order for this to be a world title fight. And it is a world title fight. It's not a 10-rounder. This is the real deal. So I don't know where they've plucked Mauricio Lara from. Again, they wanted Zhu Can. I don't know what's going on with the Zhu Can situation. But that is a very poor opponent for Josh Warrington. Poor. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is his first fight with Matchroom. Is it? I'm thinking Takouche, his last fight, Sofiane Takouche, last fight, by the way, October 2019, was with Frank Warren. It was. Now, I understand that we've been in a pandemic. I'm not silly. I understand that. But the fact remains, a lot of the other big Matchroom fighters have had fights, right? They've been on pay-per-view fights, pay-per-view cards. Chisora Usyk, Whyte Povetkin, AJ Pulev. He left Frank Warren. The reason he left Frank was A, because Frank couldn't make the Shakur Stevenson fight because of that. And obviously he wanted the big fights. Under Frank, he fought Lee Selby. I think people forget that sometimes. Great fight, right? Massive fight that one was. Carl Frampton, another great fight. Kid Galahad wasn't a great fight, but that's what he had under Frank Warren. Yeah? Then he had the Takouche fight. I mean, he has left Frank to go to Eddie to get the big fights, and he's not fighting. And then this is what we get, Mauricio Lara. I mean, that's poor. Again, I understand that he might not be a pay-per-view fighter, so you can't put him on a Saturday night card, but you could have easily put him on the undercard of those pay-per-view events that we've had. Again, we've had Chisora Usyk, he could have been on the undercard of that. We've had Joshua Pulev, could have been on the undercard of that. And we've had Whyte Povetkin, could have been on the undercard of that. I mean, the fights in Eddie Hearn's back garden he could have headlined one of those. I mean, for him to come back after well over a year out and get Mauricio Lara is piss poor. Honestly, that is shockingly poor. I'd rather have seen him fight someone over here. Yeah, that's just... Oh, I feel sorry for Josh Warrington. Again, I mean, you left Frank to go to Eddie for the big fights. Where are those? It's quite similar to Billy Joe Saunders' situation, although Billy was so close to getting the Canelo fight. But similar to that, you left Frank to go to Eddie to make those fights. They're not happening. Disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Conor Benn is fighting Vargas on that card. Now, Vargas is coming off, I think, a knockout loss, but definitely it's a higher level opponent. I mean, that's a step up for Conor Benn, you know. I think Conor Benn will beat Vargas, I really do, but it's a step up. That's good matchmaking, very good matchmaking. Let's not forget, Vargas fought Amir Khan, I want to say 2 years ago. Let's bring out the old Lappy and double check. And didn't Vargas put Khan down in that fight? I can't remember what round it is, but I'm pretty sure Vargas put Khan down. Let me see when Vargas fought Khan. Vargas fought Khan, 3 years ago now. Or 2.5 years ago. September 2018. Yeah. And then Khan went on to fight Terence Crawford. I'm trying to see who Vargas lost to last time. Yeah, So Vargas's last defeat was against Virgil Ortiz, who probably is going to be the face of the 147 division in a couple of years, maybe. Him and Jaron Ennis. So that's his last loss. Before that, his loss before that one was Louis Collazo, who's a gatekeeper at 147. No shame in that. Split decision loss. This is a huge step up for Conor Benn. Huge. Let's see how he gets on. All right, what else we got to talk about? McGuigan says Eubank Jr. has a good chance against Golovkin, Charlo, Murata. Golovkin maybe, just because, again, this is Golovkin coming towards the end. Charlo, I don't know about that. Murata, It's easy to say there's a good chance against Golovkin because we have seen Golovkin slip. Golovkin, that we thought has slipped against Derevyanchenko, who is world level. Maybe didn't look good against Danny Jacobs, but Danny Jacobs legit as well. I mean, it's not like we're seeing Golovkin get bowled over by average fighters or get hurt by average fighters. He's in wars with very, very good fighters. I mean, him and Canelo went, 24 rounds of war. Do you know what I mean? So let's ease back on the Golovkin is kind of done rhetoric. Certainly not. Demetrius Andrade, Liam Williams middleweight title fight reordered by the WBO. Why has it been reordered? Like, what is going on here? Just make the fight. If not, Andrade vacate. Let Liam Williams fight someone else for it. Jeez, I wouldn't mind seeing Liam Williams versus Eubank Jr. I don't know where he is in the WBO rankings, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. Strange. I see they've Matchroom have also done. So look, a couple of the fight cards they've done. Okoli, Glowacki. Yeah, well done, Okoli. And that's not pay-per-view anything, just a normal Saturday night, which is good. Avinisi and Kelly. Let's see if it happens. But I've seen they've done like Shannon Courtney, Rachel Ball too. I don't think they need to run that back so quickly. Maybe it's just because there's not many females in that weight division out there, but you don't need to run that back straight away. But they have ran it back. If Shannon Courtney loses that again, it's going to be interesting, right? Interesting. I just want to quickly double check that fight card. What fight card is that? Apologies, peeps. Box rec. I don't know what's happened. Box rec has crashed. All right, forget that for a sec. What else we got here before we pack up and go to work? Still very upset about that Lara situation, by the way. Billy Joe Saunders rules out Caleb Plant fight, citing politics. It's a waste of breath. Yeah, that fight is never going to happen. Never. We're never going to see Billy Joe Saunders versus Benavidez, Caleb Plant, and that's boxing right now. Imagine saying that. Imagine saying we're never going to see a world champion versus another world champion within their weight class. But you wouldn't be surprised, right? So many of these fights this is what I hate, and we always do it as fans. We're like, oh, the super middleweight division is stacked. Oh, this division is stacked. Like that matters. Like that doesn't matter because those fights aren't going to happen. So there's no point saying, oh, this division is unbelievable. Those fights aren't going to happen. You know what I mean? Like the 160 and 168, it's got some great fighters in there. They're not going to fight each other. Just names there right now. Not going to fight each other. The only way like any of these guys cross over is if Canelo literally plucks him out of thin air, because obviously he's the cash cow. Similar to when Mayweather was a 147 fight, and he literally was like, I want to fight you. And you just can't turn it down, right? You no matter how, you make that fight. But yeah, it's a load of BS, man. Another bit about Hearn, talking about the WBO. We're tired of that right now. Let's leave that alone. Tevin Farmer. Jeez. He's talking about his rematch here with Joseph Diaz. Remember, he lost his belt to Diaz. He's fallen off, isn't he? I mean, you're not falling off like that. This is the problem with boxing. Once, you start getting a couple of L's, everyone kind of forgets you. But, like, I remember him being sort of Matchroom, DAZN, showing him everywhere. I don't know if his contract with Matchroom and DAZN has ended. Maybe that's the reason, but you don't hear anyone talk about him anymore. Like, there's a lot of talk. Remember, there was all that talk about Tevin Farmer versus Gervonta Davis. That went on for a good part of a year. He lost to Joseph Diaz, and that was it. No one talks about it. But that was considered, at the time, a big fight. Tevin Farmer, Gervonta Davis. Now, all of a sudden, it must be hard for Tevin Farmer, because now he's hearing Gervonta being in the mix of all those other guys. He needs to run this back with Joseph Diaz, get a good win, and then we might start talking about him in that mix as well, if he can go up. But yeah, it's weird how he's been forgotten. It's cold now. What's Amir Khan saying? I just saw it saying here. Oh no, it's Kell Brook saying, I'm ready for Amir Khan. I'm confident I'll knock him out. Ooh, I don't know about that fight anymore, man. I know some people are saying, yeah, but you'll watch it. It's not that. Like, of course I'd watch it. It's a fight. You know what I mean? I'd watch two drunk people fight outside my house. So the idea of saying, yeah, you'll watch it, isn't that shouldn't even be brought to the table. We should all still be very upset that it's happening 5, 6 years late. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't accept, oh, but we'd watch it as the thing, because this is what boxing gives us. Boxing gives us these fights too late, you know? So yeah, I would watch it. Of course I would watch it. But I would have preferred to have watched it 5 years ago when both of these guys were still very, very good. You know? That's the problem. You wanna see them fight as they would have done at 147 at the time. Fingers crossed Amir would have moved up. And it would have been a case of, oh, we've got the best 147 pounder. You know, you could make an argument. Now it's like, really? Like, really? So yeah, I'll watch it. I think Kell would knock out Amir Khan, but don't know, man. I mean, Amir Khan could hurt Kell. You know, like, I'm not that confident anymore. Like, especially after the way, maybe it's just how good Crawford is, but the way Crawford landed that shot on Kell and Kell stumbled, I was like, damn, is that the weight loss? Is that what it is? I don't know what. Like, I was shocked he was able to hurt Kell like that. So who knows, man? Who knows? All right, guys, peace and love. Tomorrow, live stream. Let's not forget. What time did I say? 8:30. But if Liverpool lose, I ain't doing it. Fact, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Or I might do it. We're not going to lose. We're going to win. If they draw, I'm definitely doing it.